The olden days were wild.
Here comes the hilarity. How do you recognize Al Gore when he's surrounded by Secret Service agents? Easy. He's the stiff one.
Oh yeah, sure thing, dude. But gaming has been around for so many years, where a lot of games were released during a time when most of us weren't even born. And if you were, you really should be doing some hip stretches. 35 is kind of that age, man. And one company in particular was king of the PC adventure games. Hopefully that triggered some nostalgia in some of you, because Sierra was one of the most prolific PC game companies during the 80s and 90s, with years of games where you move your mouse to make the characters say something funny. Come on, say something.
Who wants to play with our jugs?
Wow!
Why, looky here, Mama, a volunteer. Howdy, buckaroo. Pardon us while we whip these out.
Sierra Entertainment was founded in 1979 by Ken and Roberta Williams, with their first game, Mystery House, one of the first ever horror games. But they would go to then create other adventure games like King's Quest, Space Quest, Police Quest, Gabriel Knight, wait, where's the quest? And Quest for Glory. Oh, hey, there it is. Now, from what I've learned is that a lot of Americans' childhoods were formed with these games, playing them on your old PCs after school. Me? Well, not American. So my childhood was just the Magic School Bus and Scooby-Doo Windows games. Also weird Bible ones. But it's actually quite insane how many games they made over the years, while being sold off to then some company. Then that company went under an accounting scandal. Then they got sold off many more times to now being owned by Microsoft under Activision Blizzard. What a way to go, back into the PC beast, huh? And so there are actually quite a few games in this list that I would love to cover or experience, but most of them are part of franchises, as in...
That just kept going, huh?
You have all these King's Quest games where people argue which one is their favorite. Like Sierra knew which games did sell well and would just keep pumping them out in the same franchise. So that is a lot to cover. And most of these games were those point and click adventure games. You know, you click on screen, the character says something about it, then you gotta pick up items or do things in certain order to progress the game. And yeah, back in the day, you had no online guides with the internet. You had no idea how to beat the game, so you would just over months click everything, fail, reattempt, click on everything, and then try and beat it. Get your parents to help you with it. But this is modern day, with all the modern day anxiety. We have online guides, and anime figurines, and GOG, where you can easily buy all the games and it works out of the box. No, seriously, avoid the Steam versions for these old games. GOG really seems like the best place for them. But you also have these guides readily available, meaning you can experience these games to the fullest if you get stuck. And oh man, some of these games are so brutal.
It scares me.
And so I thought, what type of game reviewer would I be if I didn't tell you to subscribe within the first 10 minutes of a video? Well, I'm not telling you to, but I have to expand my knowledge and learn about these games. So instead of picking from those big franchises, I thought to try to find Sierra's one-off games. You know, the ones they felt they didn't warrant huge sequels, and just see the ones that people highly rated, and oh, hey, look, the first one's a Robin Hood game.
Achoo! Bless you!
I'll be honest, dear viewer, this is not the game I ended up playing for this category. For you see, an adventure game I require spoken words, at least for when I make videos, as it's harder in this modern day of doom scrolling to stay engrossed in a 30-year-old game you never experienced when there's no voice acting, and for me to then make a video on it. Look, I just finished a 100-hour VN and Deltarune. I've had enough reading for a bit, okay? So I was kinda shocked when I thought this game had voice acting, and yet... It's like you choose actions and then you get points where you stumble around with your buddies and, I don't know, shoot arrows as Robin Hood would. And that is a lot of... So what I didn't know is you have to look up Sierra Talkies, where they talk. Thanks, random forum. So it's the adventures of Willie Beamish, just your average American kid in holy rich white people's houses 90s. America. Now, I didn't know this, but the GOG version comes with 2 releases. The original without voice acting, but Sierra updated one with better graphics and full voice acting. So I'll be playing that, where your frog is named
Horny, no!
grabs the principal's toupee, and you get into detention on the last day of school. Also, I know Sierra didn't make this, but it's like a 1991 adventure game, okay? Sierra still published it. You know, they were publishing unknown games like this one and this other one called Half-Life.
Never heard of it.
So you get a look at the amazing sprite work and voice acting.
Disgraceful, Willie, just disgraceful. And in front of all those students.
Miss Glass, I'm supposed to be in juvenile court today. May I be excused?
You didn't raise your hand!
The game has dialogue choices which determine if you get a bad ending or not. In these kinds of games, you're trying to do the right choices and actions to always get the good ending. There are many ways you can fail. Like with the principal, if you don't give his hair back.
Chill out, egghead. You know what they say, hair today, gone tomorrow.
That's the last straw, Beamish. Send him off to military school at once. It'll do the little fellow a world of good.
I will make you into men, even if it kills you.
Oh my god, I'm bald! No! Well, at least if you're stuck, you have a detailed help section.
If you have a technical question which is not addressed here, please refer to the quick reference card included with
It
your
goes on
copy
like
of
this.
Willie.
So Willie's goal is to get into the Atari Championships. You know, esports gaming in the 90s. But his bad grades might not help, so it's kind of a thing where you gotta go home as quick as possible to hide your grades from your dad. But if you don't fail, it just changes the dialogue as he still finds out. But then other times, if you fail, you get game overs. So it's really a lot of trial and error if you're not using a guide.
This could be serious. I can't tell if you have a bruise or a contusion.
What's the difference?
About $300.
Now you get home and also learn that you have a narrator. And this is possibly the most confusingly passive-aggressive narrator I have seen in a video game in my entire life.
The Beamish front stoop is covered with skid marks from Woolie's skateboard.
Your dead grandpa also talks to you.
I sure haven't heard from you in a while.
You haven't needed me for a while. You've got to watch yourself, boy.
I
Something
think
foul
Willie
is
needs
afoot
some
in the
therapy.
city.
And so you enter your home.
Good heavens! This is a palace!
Hey, Duffy. How you doing, boy?
Hi, boss.
And the guide says no matter what, at every chance, you gotta feed him and take him for walks.
Kibbles and grits. Kibbles and grits. I'm gonna get me some kibbles and
So this is your sister Brianna and your mother Sheila, who is what you expect of media in the 90s when they depict the characters' mothers. Oh my god, they're so hot!
I'm starting to lose my patience. Now just be quiet or else.
And so you gotta take care of your sister on the swings.
The sky's the limit. Look what you did to your little...
Yeah, you gotta be saving constantly to not get a game over, because you either gotta do the whole game again or load a save file. I accidentally saved over. Why is there no confirm to save option? Curse these old ass games!
Yeah, I know. So sharp it can cut through a shoe. Yow! Ow! My thumb! Mom! I'm bleeding! Call the paramedics! This looks serious!
Oh, don't be such a baby. It's just a little nick.
And yeah, this guide is like, bro, you better apply the iodine or you're gonna have a bad time. And you also have this trouble meter. But the game sort of works on a timer as there's always things moving on a clock. So if you say don't come down when dinner's ready, you'll get in trouble and the bar goes up. I feel this adds a lot of unnecessary stress to these games because you don't want to click on everything as you might fail because you're taking too long. And the whole point about these games' enjoyment is just clicking on everything and seeing what happens.
Dinner looks great, Mom. What is it?
Where's your father? Everyone's always late around here.
The cocoa then avec pomme sweet is at the table jubilee.
Whoa, what's that gibberish she's saying?
Shut up and vous, you little show-offer.
Also, you got your older sister Tiffany as you'll wait for your dad to come home, where he should have got a big promotion, and yet he got fired. Well, goodbye opulent lifestyle. Guess no more watching high quality ads on our Panasonic. So Dad finds our report card, gets mad, and locks up our Nintari, giving the key to Tiffany, so we gotta go and get it back. But first, feed the dog. Don't worry, there's no sugar in it, just Toot Sweet, the mysterious new ingredient that's in all the food and is only 1 calorie.
Willie, get that miserable mutt out of here. Now!
So we learn that there's a plumber strike, and the plumber union guy is in cahoots with Leona, the president of Toot Sweet, in a plan to own the town. And all they need to do is find a fall guy to take the blame. Well, we gotta get our key back and literally walk into the shower.
The Nintari key. The Nintari. Gordon purchased the Bigfoot bath mat to show his kids that he was hip. It prompted the following responses. Brianna, Willie, gee, Pops, you feeling okay? Tiffany, oh.
Seriously, what is this announcer doing? And you use your frog to distract her while you grab the key, so you can get some epic late-night gaming practice sessions. Now your dad applies for that job at Toot Sweet, where we see a frog competition, where if Horny wins, you'll get enough money to enter the Nintari Championships. But your frog needs some motivation.
Am I in heaven or what?
So this is Perry and Dana, your friends, which amusingly, you can tell it's just adult voice actors where they pitched up the voice.
You can enter Gigi too, Dana. Are you crazy? Gigi's a chef frog.
Then it's like you go to eat spicy pizza and then you blame the bully and then he's gonna kill you, so you gotta kill him first. Wait, why did he explode? As you have an inventory where you're picking up items and then you have to like trade your sister's diary for this trading card. You gotta pick up this magazine. I mean, I don't think anyone would know to do these things on a first playthrough unless you clicked on everything possible, and then the game doesn't even tell you what is clickable. And the story is kind of all over the place. It really feels like and then this happened, and then this happened, which is, I get it, it's a kid's game with art like this, and it feels like what Willie views the world as. Like you suddenly have a babysitter and they turn into a bat and then chase you and you can get a bad ending, so you gotta do so many actions quickly, and turns out it was just a dream, which doesn't affect the story. And some of the things the guide says you can change the weight of Tiffany's scales, so you know, to prank her to make her think she's overweight, like the stereotypical American bad boy kid from all those TV shows. But when you do it and then she weighs herself,
157 pounds. Ouch. Gasp!
that's it. That's the payoff. God, we make Dennis the Menace look like a hellspawn. So we take the ferry to where Toot Sweet's headquarters are, which is where the competition is. Oh dear God, no, please don't do the stereotype.
Please, we want to have a picture.
A picture of me?
No, you take picture of us.
Sure. Okay. Everybody move in real tight.
The boy says move to the right.
Well, we then find this guy and we need to get in, but there's street gangs and they're gonna beat up a 9-year-old? Okay, a little help here?
Here, maybe this'll help.
Thanks, dude! But don't worry, those tourists, they save us!
Did he say?
He said those guys gonna commit robbery.
We must aid him. Ninjas, prepare for battle.
Oh, sweet merciful Lord. Hey, but don't forget to keep feeding your pet!
It's great to be free from the ravages of intelligence.
So due to all the tricks you did throughout the game, you should have an easy time winning the frog contest. However, the Toot Sweet company catches them all because Leona has a craving for frog legs, while she's hiring your dad to take the fall while she takes over the town.
Thought I heard my dad in there.
Yeah, and I'm Santa Claus. You're coming with me.
And now you gotta use your magic spell where you can chant a phrase which you will know the answer from Willie's notebook that was included in your game box. Yes, actual physical media that you need to use to progress the game. If not, you gotta click on every single option, which makes me feel like, yeah, you need so much time to finish this game without a guide or hints. So then you sneak into Toot Sweet's mansion and have to not interrupt whatever they're doing.
What the?
as you save the frogs and escape with them, and you find a jet ski where you're actually meant to click on this, then take out the recorder as you need it later to record phone messages like, "Holy moly, how did people know to do this?" And keep in mind, computer screens were tiny. I'm playing this on a cheap-ass TV screen that burns my image in after 1 minute, and I still couldn't see this. So you sneak in and have to do quick mini games where if you fail, the guards will literally kill you, turning you into Toot Sweet. This feels very graphic. Eventually you find your dad in trouble and you gotta use your yo-yo to stop them, but if you fail, you both get turned into the ingredient as the baddies win. But you're meant to instead kill the bad guys. Wow, what a kid's game. But we did it! And we got the money to enter the championship and win. And the end. Look, okay. It's not the greatest adventure game playing this as an adult for the first time. I get it, it's a kid's game, but man, the amount of things that you need to do and go through is crazy. I do like the art design though. The environments felt really real, almost real. Like yes, this is a big rich house, but it feels a little sci-fi. Like this is what people thought that 2050 future rich people's houses would look like. And I mean the voice acting is okay except for the narrator who, man, he and the timer in game made me never want to click on random things. I didn't want to hear this guy talk about objects. And that's the fun of these adventure games, you know. Clicking on things that don't matter to the story, you're just exploring and vibing in these worlds. The way he talks about things is like you murdered his
The
family.
recent survey, only 5% of Slice of Life customers were able to...
It makes it really no fun to listen to, and how things are timed, you don't really get time to just vibe out and explore on a full playthrough. Well anyway, it's not a real Sierra game, but the next one will surely be what I'm looking for. Oh. So Laura Bow is a 2-game series where it's like those murder mystery reporter types. You know, it's a main character reporter who goes and solves cases that the police couldn't do, and I didn't realize that the first one is ancient, called The Colonel's Bequest, which was released on the MS-DOS in 1989 by Roberta Williams, you know, one of the main creators for Sierra, where, yeah, okay, I don't think I need a graphics card to run this. It's one of those games where so many random deaths can happen to Laura. Not in a kid-friendly way. It also was a game where to protect against piracy, you needed a fingerprint chart that was in the box to identify whose fingerprint this is on the start screen. Alright, fine, you got me. I pirated this game. No, wait, I purchased it legally. Why didn't I get the fingerprints? However, the next and final Laura Bow game is one that interested me more because 3 years later they felt more modern with the models seemingly were motion captured and you have voice acting. Where Laura moves to New York to be a reporter and ends up stumbling upon a robbery, which then leads to, oh my god, it's turned into Othello. So you see some guy get killed on a ship as the passengers disembark.
You got gold bars in here or something?
Look, at some form of voice acting doesn't mean it's the best. Although it is crazy that this 1992 game has voices actually matching the lip-flap movements of the sprite. Every single word they say is enunciated.
You've got the money I gave you?
Yes, Daddy. Don't worry.
Put some money in your shoe. New York's a big city, and there's a lot of crime there.
Look, I'm going straight to the paper. What could possibly go wrong?
Also, I do appreciate how these games seem to credit the actual devs giving a lot of time to their name in the opening intro. So Laura goes to New York and literally, frame 1, off the train.
Thank you, dear. You're very kind. I've enjoyed traveling with you.
Can you spare a dime, miss?
Certainly, sir. I'm always ready to help those who are less fortunate.
Bro, you just got robbed!
Well, that's just peachy. Give me all your money then.
I'm telling you, this is
Excuse
karma.
me, this seems very unfair.
Welcome to New York, kid.
I really want to thank you for hiring me, Mr. Augustini.
For hiring you? I don't even know who you are. We usually just hire men for this job. It's rough out there, and you're kinda small.
Okay, I can see why people like Sierra Games humor. So you got this reporter who will catch you up on what you need to know, which you can then change the icon of your cursor with the right click, as every clickable thing has multiple options, like you can move to it, you can look, you can touch, you can talk about it, and you need to gather items, put in your inventory to progress as usual. This is apparently one of the hardest Sierra games, where it will lock you out very easily from the true ending if you miss the tiniest thing, like, okay, I gotta grab this baseball. And then you can talk to people and ask questions where keywords are added into your notebook, and then you click on every single one to ask any person on any entry, and it's all completely voiced.
I have a feeling 1926 is going to be a great year.
Lucky for you, you're 3 years off. You also do have a narrator who I think is Laura Bowe's inner voice.
You glance around curiously, but there's no sign of a ladies' lounge. This is patently unfair.
And thus, we are reminded that this is a Laura Bowe game. You remember from the first one? Dead pee everywhere! Well, yep, you gotta look both ways before crossing the street every single time. You gotta click look on both sides and have Laura say, oh, there's no cars there, now I can cross. I get this is trying to teach road safety, but come on, there's so many things to click on. I ain't got time for this every time. And even when I try and click on everything,
a spot, the police department, the police, you can see the newspaper, you can, there are no, the police.
So you gotta ask the cops about the case where it seems a dagger has been stolen from the exhibit. But he's hungry, so you grab this newspaper, use the free coupon at Luigi's across the street, then bring it back, and then you can talk to the investigator, O'Reilly.
You can't be a reporter, lass. You're a girl.
So you go to Low Fat's Laundry for more info, where you learn about some new characters, Hemlock, Miklios, and Delacroix. Outside, you also have to trade that baseball, you know, the one you picked up, for a magnifying glass from the kids, and this is such an important item. I really do not know how you would know to do this on a first-time playthrough. It's like these games keep wanting you to fail to keep learning what not to do, but sometimes you could be hours in and realize, crap, I forgot I meant to turn on the kettle back home 5 hours ago, and now I die because I crossed the street. But there was something this game had over Willy Beamish, and it was the style. It really felt like it was set in 1920s New York, with the backdrops and character voices, where the sprites are so detailed and animated to match the voice acting, and so many things are clickable, with Laura telling you more amusing dialogue than the previous narrator.
You'd be too embarrassed to use the toilet while someone is watching you. Hold it until the end of the game.
So you learn the entrance code word to the speakeasy, which is Prohibition, was around this time, so it's a great place to get booze. And you meet Ziggy?
Are you Ziggy?
Who sent ya?
Then we meet the Flapper, who is a rebellious person in 1920s.
You look so cute in that outfit. It makes me want to scream.
Oh, I get it. So you go to the docks and talk to Steve, and you have to remember to ask him twice something where no other character you talk twice about the same thing, to learn about the exhibit's people, as he was helping offload the ship's things. And it's so very obvious they deepened the voice actor's voice.
Fat Egyptian guy in a funny hat who...
And so you ask people, then learn about more people, and you ask them about these people to sort of get a picture of the cast, which is interesting in that you learn more about them from talking to other people before you actually meet them. Like you learn that Delacroix is a flirt.
Cripes, how do you know about her?
I heard she was...
Look, that was long ago and far away, okay? The room was dark and I was not married at the time. I don't know how you know about that.
This claim ticket 2 years old today. You very lucky woman. Almost give this clothes away. It'll be ready Tuesday. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. Ancient Chinese joke.
You're a strange man, Mr. Fat.
So we get everything we need to enter the art exhibit of Egyptology.
By invitation only, Fräulein. Your papers, please.
And thus begins our long info dump, where you gotta talk to so many people here. You got Ziggy, a con man, Delacroix, the one who woots over every man, Carter, who found the dagger.
That's me, you silly girl.
Najir, the museum's accountant who hates Carter for defiling the tombs, Carrington, the president of the museum.
I really haven't had much interaction with Miss Delacroix.
Well, of course, she is my assistant. So I guess I should correct myself and say that I do have interaction with her.
Tut Smith, someone who arrived from Egypt and is also mad at the dagger being stolen.
I find it distasteful to celebrate thievery in the name of science. The artifacts in this museum's Egyptian collection do not belong here. They belong in Egypt.
That's only your opinion.
Damn, Laura, you support people robbing archaeological treasures, I guess. Well, I mean, maybe in 1920s more people were for it.
You already asked me that, you silly female.
Also a lot of that. Miklos, the Greek curator of the museum, O'Reilly the detective, Countess Walder Carlton, some old rich lady, and then, after that, you're meant to eavesdrop on 14 conversations. Oh, yes, we're in the info dump section of a mystery game, where Laura goes behind the groups and does the most hilarious spying on Sprite.
Boy, did he bet. She's some dish, ain't she?
Yes, those French women really have something. I don't think my wife would ever have done it in a mummy case.
A mummy case? What freaky type of...
Was present. Please excuse us, Miss Bow.
Oh, I wasn't actually listening to you gentlemen, Dr. Carrington. I just happened to be standing here.
The thing I am admiring about the Egyptian man is the way he is treating his woman, with the strong hand and the firm words.
Jeez, Sierra really weren't holding back in this game. So Steve, the dock worker, comes in and Delacroix flirts with him, which gets Laura all mad.
Oh, really? You think she's lovely, do you?
Well, sure. A man would have to be blind not to see that, right?
I think she wears a wig. She looks cheap. The
girls are fighting!
But Steve, he was here for us.
What brings you here?
You.
Oh, me?
He says how he literally sold everything he had to buy this fancy suit to meet us again. So what you're saying is, you're really broke. And in 3 years, it's the Great Depression. I don't know. I need someone rich in these trying times. Well, finally, it's time to explore the museum and find out who stole the dagger.
It's a painting of a Spinosaur. The painting is accurate and workmanly, with little regard for nuance or emotion.
Accurate? Bro, don't disrespect the best Jurassic Park movie.
Welcome to the Leyendecker Museum Dinosaur Display.
Oh, now that's just how I remember the movies.
Oops.
So wandering around, we find in the mummy's coffin. So Carter is dead, and we get the urge to solve the case.
I may not be a detective, but I'm terribly clever. I've solved murders before.
Bro, you literally got robbed as soon as you left the train. So O'Reilly tells us that he moved the body for the coroner, and yet you can find the body stuffed into the knight's armor. Surely he's not the bad guy.
A typical light-hearted painting by anonymous Bosch called A Heartwarming Story, depicting dead humans being tormented by skeletons and demons in hell.
Why does she sound so happy at that? And just a reminder, this is a Laura Bow game, and you should be saving regularly. Well, you find a secret passageway.
Oh dear, the light bulb blew out. You hope someone will invent a reliable light bulb one of these days. As with so many other things in this museum, this phone is dead.
Alright, take it easy, take it easy.
So the game now involves you triggering the next points by doing the right thing, like picking up a glass to then listen to conversations on doors, also meeting people at the right time as the game will slowly advance a clock. But I don't think it's as strict as Willy Beamish. Like, you learn that this character is in this room at this time, so you gotta be there at that time, but it is kind of not accurate. And yeah, just you being in the right place at the right time, pretty much seeing Delacroix flirting with anything that moves, and you're just standing there. Watching. I think Laura has a voyeuristic personality. And it was actually funny I missed something from the guide because Laura was too busy here and found another death before the guide said I was meant to. And then you find Ziggy dead. So I guess every character is just dying. The murderer is killing them off. Oh, then who's gonna be the killer? Are we next? Ah, look, we found a ferret. And so we can find that the dagger is actually in this vat room where if you check on too many of the wrong ones, you get woozy from the fumes and die. And see, because I died here, I tried following the guide again, but then this room was locked because I spent a bit too long and the characters moving into different rooms. So even following a guide, they might not be in the correct spots. And like, I guess the pacing of this game makes it hard to follow who is committing what crime, as all these people are guilty of something, as we then find another body on the task. I guess people are just bored of everyone else dying too. And then Delacroix wants Steve to rub her neck. So he does so, and it makes Laura mad.
I can explain this.
I bet you can, Mr. Dorian.
And then Delacroix's dead.
Yvette's face doesn't look as good in death as it did in life. Perhaps because her makeup is covered with plaster dust.
I think Laura might be a bit too happy about this one. And then the old lady dies and then the murderer tries to kill us. So we've got to quickly click on things to escape. And you stumble into the secret Amon-Ra cult.
You're coming with us, young lady.
When Angira is part of it, and if you answer them correctly, they'll let you go. And then you find Steve and you escape together, capturing the murderer in the T-Rex's mouth. And at the end, you got to use all that you learned to tell the coroner what happened. And it's like, oh my god, how would you know the answers to every single one of these questions? And if you get it wrong, you get a bad ending when Laura dies.
Had your chance and you blew it, Laura Bow. This is what happens to interfering reporters.
But if you do it right, it's O'Reilly, the murderer, who gets
60 years in a state penitentiary. Having been a cop, O'Reilly found it hard to make friends in prison.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the least of his worries. And everyone who died, the game goes, oh yeah, they displayed their bodies in the museum. Maybe this was a ploy to get new human museum exhibit material. As then you get a very detailed credit showing everyone who made the game, where yeah, 8 people were needed to lip sync the animation. And that's what I feel. A lot of work went into this Laura game, but I can see why people classify it as one of the hardest Sierra games. There is literally no way, unless you have all the time and patience in the world, to get through this on the first playthrough without a guide. There are so many things you need to do to trigger checks for the game and to let you continue. You gotta be saving constantly, but everything is voiced.
Excuse me, I was looking for the women's lounge?
Laura has a personality. Her narrator voice does too. You get some unique game overs, but I feel it's probably not worth the time investment unless you like failing and reloading saves a lot. And then I thought, okay, you know what? I'll do one more Sierra game, and by one of their famous writers, Al Lowe, who apparently writes the funniest, wackiest games with crude humor. And this game is Torrance Passage. What? He didn't write anything else famous, did he? So Torrance Passage was made in 1995, designed by Al Lowe, who, yes, was known for the more well-popular series Leisure Suit Larry. Yes, out of all of Sierra's catalog of all the games, I know this one because I saw it in gaming magazines back in the day. But what? You think I was allowed to play that? Nah, instead we got this Anastasia-type animation intro, but each scene beautifully animated.
Asleep again?
As Torrance' parents get kidnapped, so he's on a quest to save them.
And there's no way you could ever find her down there.
Which has you clicking on directions to travel to, and then as usual, very obscure things to click on, unless you have all the time to click everything on screen. And now you have Boogle, your mascot. And it's like the game's UI seems weird. You have a log for all the dialogue, but you have a hidden system. But now you have 2 inventories for both of you, and you need Boogle to scan items so they can turn into it, which I'm guessing you'll use later on. And then you got a point system to make sure you're doing everything. But then when I click on a random direction to walk, and then I accidentally clicked back, oh my god. I guess that's the downside of having highly detailed animations. You want to show it off every time. So screw it, literally. I know I was kind of thinking of saving Leisure Suit Larry for its own video, but I had to play one to see how this esteemed writer handled jokes because nothing about this game was winning me over so far. See, this is the experience when you dive into these old games and you never know what you'll experience, and now I'm in game of this genre. And turns out a lot of the older Larry games weren't voiced. So I went and found the first one on GOG with voice acting. Larry said sail and click open. What the heck is happening? So Larry sleeps with that lady. You couldn't tell. We weren't playing Mahjong. He's like Horny Mac's character, you know, American Pie, that type of character, that you know that one. And she leaves, and then he accidentally sets fire to the hotel room. So you gotta free him, but the game does tell you how to play with the fireman yelling at you what you should do. Where your cursor extends over clickable objects. I guess 1996 tech really allowed that, knowing which things you can talk to. And you can already tell I'm gonna have a nightmare getting this game to be properly shown on YouTube. And they knew this was risky for you to play because they have a boss button. Oh my god, this is amazing. So the game makes you click on things to use on other things where it has a handy menu. Like you click on it on an item and then it'll show you all the other items that you can use on it. So you don't need to drag items on top of each other in the inventory like other games. But also you can actually type in things to make Larry do. Yes, there's a hidden list of heaps of verbs, like you actually have to type break the glass. And so we jump out and then... This is insane. You 90s people were crazy for playing this. And this is the 5th game. Lots of people were enjoying this to make 5 of them. As Larry just decides to go on a cruise, which is run by Captain Thighs, who is...
What do you want? I'm busy.
Nothing.
You get your ass back in here right now! You've got work to do!
Okay, I gotta go.
And get the mazoo!
She gives a reward to the best man on the ship, so your goal is to get enough points and win the many competitions to get that ending. Which as you're clicking on things, picking up things to use on other stuff, I will say actually you do a lot of jerry-rigging here, like you have to magnetize the metal pole from underneath with a radio so you can win the horseshoe toss. Like a lot of steps to make sure you can cheat and win these games.
Purser's desk. Hello, could you page someone for me? All right. The party? Miss Hug and Kiss? We have no one aboard by that name. First name? Amanda? Oh.
And throughout the game you can find these... where's Willie? And the cruise has lots of places like... I don't like it. But thankfully the narrator is actually really, really good. His banter of Larry is so enjoyable.
What the hell is going on in there?
And then I saw this card that appears in many rooms. Like your room looks like this, and then this card appears saying...
Cybersmith 2000.
Turns out, in the box, you got a scratch and sniff card where you're meant to smell the number on the screen to be immersed on where you are. Bro, adult gaming in the 90s was on another level. And the characters are something else.
I can't tell you how many times me peg leg's been stuck in that god drain.
Look, it's Hootie the Owl.
But that doesn't look like that.
Well, it does to me.
Then you gotta fix the toilet, and I didn't think I would have to actually type this into a video game, but oh, my life choices led me here. But thankfully, not everyone on board is the freak, as you have the librarian. And if not enough, the game has actual celebrities with slightly different names to avoid copyright and not insulting them, but I think it probably did. So there's...
Larry Laffer. And you?
Drew Barrymore.
You know, there was a time Teen Me would rewatch the trailer for Charlie's Angels that I'd recorded on a commercial on my VCR. Not for Drew, but Cameron, oh my god!
Sorry, Miss Barrymore.
What? The pool is filled with frolicking, naked young bodies. Unfortunately, this balcony is too high up to get a good view, and the stairs down are nowhere to be seen.
Why is that?
Oh, there's a good reason. You see, the plot doesn't require nude scenes from all those characters, and Al Lowe would never include dozens of naked bodies merely for prurient interest.
Oh. Say, is that the real reason?
No. Our budget was too low to animate all of it.
So you're meant to take the horny book Drew has and give it to the librarian secretly. Like you have to make it distracted with a computer, and then you gotta quickly swap the cover bindings, so when you come back later...
Hi, my name is Larry. Wanna have sex?
Sure. Larry, it's time to turn my literary research into action.
Well, yes, I could...
Wait, what? Oh, so I'll try to avoid a lot of this game. You know, I'm trying to earn a living here. But you pretty much have to do all these things to try and cheat at all the contests to win. Like you talk to this guy to steal his light bulb and knife, and then you'll need on 2 separate quests. And, oh, please, no, don't continue the stereotype we have in these games already so far today.
Pork. Yeah, that sounds good.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph in a tiny canoe. Are you deaf? It's Spork.
I heard you the first time.
Your attention, please. Paging Mr. Hunt. Mr. York. Oh, you guys stop it.
So you meet Demi Moore, who makes you play a strip dice game where, oh my god, this was so hard and so fun, where you get 5 dice in each cup and you can't see the other person's. Now you'll have to bet on how many of yours you got on each roll. So say you got 2 6s, so you'll bet on 2 6s, and the opponent has to either bet higher or call your bluff. And these dots are wild cards that can be counted as any number, and you can also show some of your dice to trick your opponents, as the game is all about bluffing and not falling for the CPU's lie. And it felt so rewarding after constantly retrying over an hour, and I won at this game. And so this girl comes in and is like, oh, okay, help me kill my husband so I can get his money. And Larry is like, sorry, I didn't hear anything of that. I was just staring at your purple outfit. And so she's like, oh, fine, I guess I gotta tempt you. And it's like, he thinks she wants him. She thinks he will kill her husband, and he accidentally does so. And so to get rid of him and sort of thanking him for making her rich and killing the guy with a heart attack, she gives him a majority stock in an oil tanker company. And then you got Bill Clinton animatronic stand-up?
Thank you. And let me just say this. Thank you.
What do you mean it goes on for 40 minutes straight?
From age 45 to 60, she's like Europe. Well explored, nearly worn out, but still has points of interest. From age 60 on, she is like Australia. Everybody knows it's down there, but nobody really cares.
And then you meet Jamie Lee Curtis, where I guess Al really liked messing with your accent stereotypes, as she's French.
Go away. Sacre bleu, Larry. It just might work.
Which lime juice may be substituted in a pinch, and a hint of mold. Now for the details of preparation.
Hey, you made a Subiism.
What?
A Subiism. You know, when you choose a word based on previous words. Okay, like you use the cliche in a pinch, because you just finished saying the phrase pinch of salt. Get it?
Damn, you're weird, Larry.
And so you find the final Where's Willie in the About section, and they really love crediting their team. Well, yes, you cheated through all the games, so you're the manliest man here. Yep, she finds the balding short guy repulsive, and she just wants to quit this job and become a captain of an oil tanker. Hey, wait a minute. I own the majority shares in an oil tanker company. I can make that happen. And so you do it, which is weirdly not shown to us. You would think after all that, you would show the ending of the game, you would see some reward. I mean, I've seen more than Librarian. Apparently, if you do get full points, you can see some little bits. I don't really care now, but it's like you do all that work, and it's still not enough for what I guess most 90s gamers wanted from this game. As the ship sails off, and you then get abducted by aliens. Oh, I guess the aliens were too much for the censor boards. And so, I have to say it. I think I really like the Leisure Suit Larry games. This was one of those videos where I have heard of Sierra mentioned it. So many other older YouTubers, you know, they would mention, oh, these games are part of my childhood. And I'm thinking, what type of childhood did you? And so I wanted to experience some of that. And I spent many days researching which games I would showcase in this review. You know, my first time experiencing it and what's it like trying to play these old games. Then finding out, oh my goodness, Sierra made too many games. So I had to pick some that were just a one-off, you know, they were not successful franchises, but you can see why these games didn't get more sales and warrant more sequels. But you can see from Larry with the type of quality that was in it, oh, they made a lot of them. But from this, you have so many different styles of the adventure game genre. You have high quality Disney type animation, Flash style characters, or pixel art that's motion captured, all having lip syncing to match the voices, where the aim of all the games is really just to make players click on everything on screen to advance the plot. And even some games I didn't cover, you didn't have voice acting, but you could actually type in stuff for the characters to do things, and you would have pictures to accommodate it, which is an improvement on the early Zork games. These type of games I can see suiting the 90s era so well, when you got arcade games being so hard that you're trying to put your quarters in, and you wouldn't get many games at a time in a year. This would be the one game you would play for months, so it worked so well that for kids growing up with these computer games, even if some of them were child-friendly, or some were a bit challenging for your brain trying to work out, not trying to fail with all the debts, you would take your time over those months and keep clicking on things, failing, retrying to see that ending. And none of the voice acting was bad except for that narrator there. They all felt so high quality games where there's so much hidden inside. It's more a thing, I guess, where it's what you're into. Do you want mystery games, fantasy epics, space adventures, or Friday night time? Sierra's got you covered with all types of adventure games. I can see why people look fondly at this Mountain Logo company, which is kind of sad how they were just shifted around and sold off a bunch and now just fizzled out. Yet I don't think these games would work nowadays. You need more game design to keep players engaged where there's so many things keeping their interest. Simple things like showing what can be clicked on, making a log to keep track of what you need to do at any given time or some direction of where to go so you don't need to look up a guide. You don't want to do so much of the game and then realize you missed a tiny thing and then have to replay the entire game. Players are just going to refund it or let it sit in their library forever because they're too lazy to even do that. That's me. But that is why it's so fun looking back at these 30-year-old games. This was something people had to deal with at the time and make fond memories with because they had nothing else. And it wasn't like they were just given slop. There was actually quality in these games, even if some of these ones I covered didn't sell too well. Willy Beamish, I guess it wasn't made by Sierra, but it was published, so it kind of fits into their catalog. It felt too much like a kid's story where it's and this happened and this happened. Laura Bow actually surprised me with how much I wanted more because Laura is such an amusing protagonist. She gets jealous. She's pretty bad at her job. Man, I just wish they got more sequels to this. So it turns out while I was working on this video, they were making a fan game, and they were trying to get the rights to be a real Laura game, and it might be. I mean, it has a Steam page. Oh, please be good. And well, I really know, I guess I like our low sense of humor, at least in writing adult games. Like, this was 30 years ago, and I'm finding jokes I've never seen in a game or media do since then. And it's still crazy that these were actual games that you could buy and play on your PC in the 90s. I always thought seeing ads for these games in magazines, it was like a troll, a joke. Like, surely this is a fake game, right? There's no way people went together and made this game and then sold it and people would go to the store and buy it. There's no way people actually bought adult video games. Reminder, all I had to play on PC back then was these games and Bible games and Age of Empires. I didn't know the PC was this raunchy. And now, it's a bit too much. I do want to cover some more of these adventure games from Sierra over time, but it's still so fascinating like the Zork games when I covered them, that this was gaming entertainment all the way back then, where you had things like you had a scratch and sniff card to immerse yourself in the world. What did it smell like? What did Larry's toilet smell like? Or you had a cheat protection manual to make sure you didn't pirate this game in the 90s, which, I mean, surely that was a thing, but I think the risks of pirating a game back then, you weren't gonna get given these malware. Look, Fitpack, maybe you're a nice person, but this sometimes feels so sketchy. By the way, let me know below your memories of Sierra games. I do find it fascinating the types of games people grew up with. Like, this was what you went home to play after school? That's so cool! Although, hopefully you didn't grow up to be like these characters, like Larry's womanizing or Laura's pettiness. It's so hilarious. And that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the games where I clicked the mouse a few times and then I turned my head to the side on the other monitor to look at a real walkthrough because these are very hard to do without it. But yeah, I have more different types of games on the channel, and a big thank you to my wonderful patrons. You can find a link below to join, as well as my social media. And until then, I shall see you all in the next video.